Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. In my latest video, I mentioned that I was going to share this extraordinary experience I had, which I had to spend a lot of time uh, contemplating on. It was maybe maybe almost 2 years before I kind of integrated or landed, or what you could call the whole experience, because the experience was so powerful to me. And I haven't had such a powerful experience since I was 5 years old, and I had my first encounter with this light ship. Uh, 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 yeah, the story with me 5 years old encountering this light ship, I've made a video on that one. So, but anyway, this experience was so powerful that I had to take a lot of time to process it. Anyway, I will try to make this video short if I can, but as I speak, it tends to come details around the experience, but I will try to uh, talk about the most significant of the experience, so I can get everything. Not I might not get everything with. I will try, but if I start, as I speak, I always remember more and more details within the experience. Um, but I will try to, kind of like keep it a little shorter, because I don't want my videos to be too long, because I have so much other stuff to share. So I'll just share this in a short version, but still get the point and get uh, the story out there. So I hope you understand. And another thing is that I wanted to say that I contemplated on with all the experience I've had over the years, that I really, it doesn't matter if you don't believe everything I say. I want people to make up their own mind and have discernment. And I don't need people to believe me. It's very nice, very, very nice if you do. But if you don't, it's okay, because it doesn't change the truth about what I had experienced. No, it doesn't. So it's okay. And I have to say that I am very grateful for the feedbacks I've received, and it is all positive and encouraging and inspiring. And so that's why I keep on doing this, because people are really giving me positive feedbacks, and I really appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you. I'm not doing this to promote myself in any way or wanting to be seen and heard. No, no, no. I don't have to do that. My life is, I enjoy my life, my daily life, and I'm doing good. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I like to share. It's also in my culture and in my tradition as a Norwegian Sami. Like I, my mother was a Sami. I come from a Sami family, and on my father's side, it was American Native or American Indian. So in that tradition, in that culture, um, we have the tradition of sharing stories. To tell stories, share stories is very, very important. So I guess this is why I'm doing this. And that I hope that people who have had the same kind of experience that I have might find peace and validation and comfort, uh, that we can find that within each other when we tell our stories, that we can back each other up and validate our stories. And so I think it's very, very important, because we are not crazy. We're just having these experiences. We are not crazy, and we're not, at least I'm not crazy. I'm not doing this to get any kind of like attention. I don't have to. I don't need that attention at all. Believe me, I don't. So I sharing is caring, and it's in my culture or tradition to do so. And I think I want to encourage more people to share, because I experience it maybe especially here in maybe in Europe, or I might say Scandinavia. A lot of people have had extraordinary experiences with star people, spiritual experiences with other energies or beings, but a lot of them just keep it to themselves. I don't know, maybe it's because they're scared to talk about it, scared for the ridicule uh, and stuff like that. And because maybe they have a family, they feel like they need to protect their family. I also do have a family. I have a son, but I have always shared, wanted to share, and I decide I choose to share my experiences. So if people don't want to believe me or want to harass me or laugh or ridicule me, it's okay. Do you can whatever. It doesn't affect me in any way because I know my truth and I want to share that truth because I know that when I have had my experiences when I was younger and someone came to me confidentially and shared with me their experiences, how much it meant to me, how much it validated my experiences, and that there was nothing wrong with me and I was not crazy. So I'm grateful for those people in my life who have come to me and shared their stories with me. If they hadn't done that, I wouldn't be here sharing my stories. And I couldn't go around my whole life just keeping this a secret. No, it would be too much of a burden. So I couldn't do that. Anyway, a little sidetrack there. But back to my experience. I try to make it short. And if I have to go and pause a bit, it's because I have to, tend to something in the house. I have a lot of animals, and my family members might arrive, and I have to go check things or fix things or whatever. Okay, so then I just pause that, and then I just come back and uh, continue. Well, this story or experience happened in 2018. Uh, in I had a friend visiting, and we did a meditation. This was, I guess, this was like very, very late in the winter time, very early in springtime, 2018. Uh, we just decided to sit down and have a meditation, and we started meditating, and I could sense that in the meditation I started to go very, very deep. Uh, this meditation, time-wise, I noticed that we started around 12 o'clock at night or in the evening, and this went on from 12 o'clock in the evening uh, and until like 3 hours, until 3 o'clock approximately in the morning. So a meditation, 3 hours meditation, when all these things happened, this experience I had. So that was approximately the time span. Anyway, I could sense that I went very, very deep in the meditation. I was completely relaxed, and I can't remember the last time I have gone so deep into a meditation as that this one with this meditation. So it was kind of, I could sense that what was going on, and the meditation was very powerful and deep. But I was not prepared for what was going to happen. Not at all. I didn't expect that at all. Uh, I think my friend he expected that, well, this is probably what Tatiana does on a regular basis. But I assured him afterwards that I've never done this before, and this never happened to me before, not on this very deep and powerful level ever. I had visions and experiences, but this was something else, something different, and it was kind of both very fascinating, very powerful emotionally, and also very scary in a way. It was mixed. But anyway, that was what I was contemplating it to be when I was when I was done with the experience, or when I came out of the experience. Anyway, back to the meditation. So I could sense that in the deep meditation, I could feel that I lost any contact with my physical body. I knew consciously I was sitting there. I was there in that moment. I was aware, conscious, but my I had no kind of like physical, how should I put it, physical contact with my body. And I was kind of like out of my body, but still present in the moment, aware and consciously awake. And I noticed that it felt like my mind, my thoughts and my mind, it was very quiet. There was nothing going on in my mind, but I could feel that, I started to feel that my mind was put more and more in the background, because I could sense something was coming in, and energy was about to come in. So I could sense that, okay, I have to back up, kind of like back up a bit, and give this energy or whatever was coming in space. So I let it happen. It was like I was opening up to what was coming in. It was like I was supposed to do that, and I had no fear, no expectation, also no fear. I just sensed that there's something going on, and that my mind was put in the back, silenced, completely silenced, and I had no contact with my physical body. I could, so I was sitting there completely in stillness, just pure, I could describe it as pure stillness, or just very in the present, consciously in the present, in the moment. And I was aware of that without my mind interfering. My mind didn't interfere and my body did not interfere. And as I was sitting there, this energy, I could feel this energy coming, entering, or taking over my energy field or my energy body. It filled my entire consciousness. It was like my persona was not there anymore. It was gone, and now there was somebody else there. I expect that maybe some channelers say that's how they channel, when they take in energies and channeling, and they take messages which they to interpret it and give out. But this was like, I wasn't there. I was like somebody else taking over. I don't know how else to explain it. But anyway, this energy came in, and I was like aware and consciously just observing what was going on. I couldn't interfere. My mind was not, the man child was gone. My body was not reacting. I was just consciously there, aware of what was going on. But I could sense that something was coming in, and it settled. And then I could hear through me that somebody started to talk. It was this beautiful, beautiful feminine voice, nothing like my own voice. I could recognize that. I observed that this was not my voice, and this was not the tone of my voice at all. This was somebody else's voice and tone. And I, not me, something started to talk. This can be very confusing. The guy can say that I talked. No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me at all. I had no control over who it was and what it was. It just happened. So this voice started to talk in this beautiful, feminine, good vibe uh, language. Language which I never have heard I've never heard this language before. So I call it like a star language or a light language, which there are several people who talk star language. I do too. I do speak star language or light language, but this was nothing like I have ever heard before. This is something else, something new, and it kind of poured through me, and I sensed observed I was just talking and talking and talking and talking non-stop, like very lightly, with no effort at all. It was just flowing, it's flowing through me, and I could hear it. It was beautiful, and I was just wondering, and so as you can observing it, I was, just in the presence, or in the consciously observing it. I couldn't do anything about it, just let it happen, because I couldn't interfere in any way or stop it or anything. And it kept on going. I expected it for a long while. And then the speaking kind of slowed down, and to my amazement, it went over and it started to, from speech, it went over to singing. The voice and the star language, the voice started singing. So now I was not me. See how easy it is that I was. No, not me. This being, or this energy, or this star being, or extraterrestrial, call it what you want. This being started singing the language, the star language. From talking, it went over to singing. And I observed, I listened, that this singing was awesome. It was beautiful. I have never heard anything like that before. It was angelic. It was in a language I've never heard. And it was like it was trying to, give a message through singing. Like sang a message. I feel that was a message going on there, but I could not interpret it. I didn't know what this being was trying to tell, or trying to. I don't know. I have no idea. All I could do is just observe and listen to what was going on. And this being was singing this light language. Never heard it before. Not before, not after. Never. I heard people talk star language, and I guess also sing star language, but this language, or this tone of the singing, I never heard it before. So I don't know. But then this singing, the star language singing, started to fade slowly, and it stopped. And I could kind of observe that something was leaving. It faded, and then it felt like it was. It was like it was leaving. It came in, was doing its thing, and then it left. And before I could even, kind of, I couldn't even start, because my mind was in the back. My mind was completely silent. The silence. So I couldn't even do something or think anything or nothing. I just observed that it went out, and as it went out, I could sense that something else was coming in. I consciously observed. I was aware that something else was coming in, and I could sense that this was another type of energy than the previous. This was a more like direct, more powerful, more of a masculine energy than the previous, which was more feminine and singing and very delightful and angelic energy. This was more powerful energy, And I felt that there was something or someone wanting to also um, say something or express something. And so the same thing happened, and it came in, it took over, and it kind of like used. It was like it was using my body, using my vocal, not vocal, or which is my voice, or taking over my physical body and using my physical body to kind of give the message as the previous energy also did. This one, as I said, it was more powerful, more direct. And I could sense that it was taking over, and I had nothing to say. I couldn't do anything. So I couldn't do anything, and I just let it happen. And this energy started to, I could hear that the language was in English. But again, the voice and the tone with this being or energy talking was not mine. It was completely foreign, foreign as the previous star language also was. Completely foreign to me. Never heard it before. The tone, the language, never heard it. But this one, I recognized the language. The language talked through me in English. But the English, it kept on talking constantly, like it wanted to express something. It wanted to give a message of something in English, and I could sense that. I can hear that the voice was kind of like mixed between English and very like almost like artificial English, almost like metallic artificial English. Like it was almost like a machine was talking. It was weird, very very weird, strange. But I remember it talked English, and I'm I'm sorry that I didn't remember. I wish I could have recorded the whole session. I think I would have, I think amazing stuff would have come out of a recording if I recorded this experience, but I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't. But anyway, I remember that the message that now had come in, which felt energy, felt more masculine, more direct, and it was talking about how important it was for us human beings on earth, which indicates that this was a being or beings from another place in the universe, star beings, extraterrestrials, or whatever you want to call them, star people. I prefer to call them star people, star family, star people. These beings, or this being, if it was one being or several at the time, I don't know. I really don't know. But he started talking about how we, people on Earth, should be very, very now, starting then, and in the future, be very, very cautious about what our government, the politicians, are saying. That we should be very cautious about believing in what they were portraying about themselves and the government, that we should not take anything, we should not believe everything they say. And they said what they're saying is often opposite of what they're saying. They say one thing, but what it really means is the opposite. So anyway, the main message was that we should not listen or not believe everything the government or the politicians told us, because they had their own agenda and they're working with other beings, people, people in the government or above the government, and they don't have a good agenda. So they really asked us, really, really pledged us to be very careful about believing in what they were saying and not buying into the propaganda and the politics, and that would be revealed. We could just sit and observe it, and we would be informed in one way or another, or we get awakened and aware that, oh my God, these people, the government, politicians, are lying, and it would become more and more imminent. It would become more and more uh, disclosed, you might say. It would be disclosed for a lot of people to hear that they are not who they are. They are not who they say they are, and they are mostly lying. They also talked about a lot of earth changes, like there would be a lot more earthquakes, a lot more floods and stuff like that, fires, a lot of fires, which we today see actually is happening. This was what they were talking to me about in the experience in 2018, that we would had to expect a lot more floods, a lot more earthquakes, and fires. And while they were talking about this in English, I could see images of what they were talking. I could see floods, I could see devastating fires, and I could absolutely see the earthquakes also. So and we are we are for sure experiencing this today on Earth, and it will be more of it. I'm not saying this to scare anyone. I'm not I'm not saying this is the end of the world, or I'm not scaring anyone. No, this is just to say that the earth is going through changes, and so are we. The earth is going through a consciousness change, and the same with us and all living beings. And of course, then in the physical, we will experience changes as well, for better, for worse. But if we are just cautious and be prepared, we will be fine, and do our spiritual inner work, which I will probably do a video on later on about that. But anyway, there's a lot about that out there already, with people talking about these things, that the very important spiritual inner work that we have to do, and that would kind of like help us through the process of these earth and changes, the changing consciousness as well, the changing cosmos and universe also, if you might say. So they were talking about this, and they're giving me visions of this, which today, of course, I can see or experience, with my very own eyes. This is going on, as you too do, right? Well, and I can remember that they told me a whole lot more, and they was constantly talking, but I could just hear some of it. Unfortunately, not everything. That's why I thought that it would have been so great to have recorded the whole session, the whole meditation. Well, maybe it was not supposed to be. Anyway, and I could then, as is in the previous energy or beings who came in, these beings or being started to leave now. It was leaving my mind, or not my mind, but my body, or whatever they were doing. So that energy also left. And as that was leaving, I could sense that a third energy, or third being, or third, energy was coming in as well. And this energy was completely different from the two previous ones too. I could only sense that this energy was even more powerful, and I have a sense that this energy was very, very, how should I put it, very, very old or ancient. And I could really remember that this energy of these beings, or being, was nothing like I ever encountered before. And I remember this was something strange, this was something new, and I was very curious. I remember after I came out of the meditation to what this energy or this being was, or beings. Never encountered them before. I could really for sure sense that this was ancients, maybe a very ancient civilization that has not uh, encountered the earth or humans as much as other star beings, star peoples have done in the past and now. So these people or beings, star beings, were very powerful but cautious. It was like they were just coming in, checking out, you know, just, since the kind of like the gate was open, they could come in. But neither of these three energies had come in. None of them felt negative. None of them I felt ever threatened about, or there was nothing negative, or I was never scared. As just, I just wanted to mention that. It's very important to mention that too. Excuse me. Just have a sip of water. Mm. But this energy or this being did not say anything. It was just coming in, checking things out, leaving me with a sense that this was very old, ancient. Maybe one of the ancient, like being, they were like so, I think that they were there, they were beings or civilizations that was there a long time, long time before our civilization, the start of our civilization here on Earth or in our star system. So you can imagine. Yeah. But it was not here or through me for very long before it left. So, but then when that left, something very strange happened, which kind of like validated for me and also my friend that everything that was going on through those 3 hours, through our meditation, was real. Because when the last energy left, I was there, sitting there, and then I could sense this other energy coming in, and this time there was a voice telling me, and it said exactly this. It said, "They are coming." And they said they were coming. And as the voice said that they were coming, it went maybe, I don't know, just a few seconds. I could hear a helicopter. And so did my friend. We could physically hear a helicopter coming closer and closer and closer. Remember, this was in the middle of the night, early in the morning. Never happened here at my house. Never. The helicopter doesn't come here over my house that late. Never. Never happened. But I could hear it coming. The voice said, "It's coming." And then I could hear the helicopter coming. And it was coming over the top of my roof, the roof of my house. And I could hear it. It was so loud. And it was really loud. And it was like I was coming out a little bit out of my meditation, more aware, physically aware also, but still in a meditation, but more aware, more like here in the present, more physically and more physically and mentally present. So I could hear the chapter over very close over the roof of my house, and I can also sense the vibration of the house. So it was incredible. Yeah, they're not allowed. They're not allowed to fly that low above any houses. It not that, because I could hear it was very loud and I could hear vibration in the house. So did my friend there. And I remember I was kind of like very cautious, and I got a little bit scared for what's going on now. And I remember that I was more back from the meditation, and I remember thinking that, oh my God, who is this? Did they just warn us that a helicopter would come? Are they checking us out? Have they seen what was going on? Have they seen something going on around the house or above the house? Have they seen the star beings? Maybe in their crafts or whatever, something. They must have picked up something for sending out a chapter at almost 3 o'clock in the morning over my house, the roof of my house. But anyway, we could hear the chapter coming in, staying or flying over my roof for a little while, and then as it did, I could hear the voice again, very loudly and clear. The voice came in and said, okay, now they are leaving. They are leaving, it said. And as it said that, I could hear the chapter starting to fly away in a completely different direction that I ever seen any planes or helicopters in this area around my house ever. It's very, very rare. They usually fly over the lake, which is further away, and never over the roofs of the house, never. And they usually fly across, back and forth, sometimes over the lake, in one direction. This chapter flew the completely opposite direction from my house and straight over the other side of the lake and straight over to the mountains on the other side of the lake, completely different, the other direction as all the other planes or helicopters I ever done, and towards the mountains from my house, where I have often seen light ships or UFOs at several occasions. So I don't know. They might have followed something. They might have followed some UFOs. Maybe they have seen. I have heard people that know that when something like this happens, when something extraordinary or UFO contact happens, also in the physical, of course, there are people in these agencies or governments or whatever they are, the elite or whatever you want to call them, they have technology to see and to detect where these kind of contact happens. So when they detect that with the technologies, they send out people to check it out. And this is what happened, I believe. They have seen something while this was going on in my meditation with this contact with these three different beings, or being, or call them whatever you want, star people. I will say that they were star people, because when I see the whole when I went through the whole experience afterwards, it's what it is. So the chapter flew the quite different direction, and towards the mountain. I could hear that because I know where I was sitting in the living room, and I could hear that they were going the opposite direction. So they have detected something, which again validated to me and my friend that what just happened within those 3 hours was for sure real. So very strange. And kind of like when you have these experiences and then you also have the experience that a helicopter comes to check you out, check what's going on. You have some physical experiences with these spiritual energy experiences, both of them, like colliding. Can't get any more powerful than that, for me anyway. And that made the whole experience for me come true. So that's when I realized that. That's why it took me so long to contemplate what happened, that night. And I also had within this experience, I also had, and I'm sorry, but this happened uh, right. This happened in between or after the three energy came in, and before the I, before we had the experience with the helicopter coming over, there was a moment there where I was coming out, as I said before, I was coming out of the meditation a little bit. I could feel, sense my physical body, and my mind was there. I could contemplate or think or kind of like try to rationalize or kind of find out what was going on. As I was doing that, there was a moment there, and remember, I have a in my house. There's a lot of animals. Even at night, there's always some movement or some noises. But I experienced that in just for a moment. I don't know how long it was. I was like there within the physical, could hear some noises, some from the animals, some from us. But then, excuse me, then suddenly everything, it was like it was like this pressure, energy pressure coming in, and it was like it was pressing on. My friend also noticed it, and suddenly everything, it was like a shock wave or something. Suddenly everything went quiet. It was like time and space was just it stood still, completely still. It was not any noise, nothing was moving, nothing. It was like the weirdest thing I ever experienced, with nothing. Like it was like something from outside just silenced everything. It's like, have you seen? Yeah, most of you have probably seen the movies, The Matrix, when they kind of like stop, the scenes where everything stops and nothing happens. It just completely stops and is silent. That's what happened. I could sense that, and it went on for maybe just some seconds, and then I could feel the pressure of the wave just uh, lifted or went away. And then everything was as it was before. Also very, very strange. I don't know if anybody had that experience before, and maybe someone have and could explain to me what it was all about. I don't know. It was what it was. So, well, after the helicopter then left, we started coming back from the meditation. I was coming more and more back into my body and into my mind. And as I did, I realized what I just had experienced. I kind of like went through it very, very fast. And my reactions were so powerful. And it created such an emotional and emotionally turmoil inside me. So many thoughts, so many feelings, so many things going on, and trying to rationalize it, couldn't do it, and everything was just a chaos. But deep, deep inside of me, with everything happened, I knew that this really went on. This was true. What just happened was true. So I had an emotional reaction. I started crying. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't stop any of the reactions I had. I was crying and I was laughing and I was in completely, I thought I was going to, just dissolve right there and then. And, and well, naturally, after that experience and the days and the day after and the other days after, I was not, I was not, I was not myself for a while. Took a while, took a long while, and I started until I also started to processing. the whole experience, because it was, all everything. It had to go. It feels like they had to go through all my emotions and my senses and my body and everything. So I can, in that sense, I can understand that they might, the star beings might, are very cautious about contacting people like in this way, because it can cause a lot of traumatic experiences, or a lot of feelings, or a lot of, but I guess they come and contact people who they know might handle it, and you never get more than you can handle. So, and that's what I felt. Well, it was very, very extraordinary, very, very powerful, and it kind of, I went through a lot of turmoil with that, but I handled it. I think I did good, and well, thankfully I didn't go crazy. I'm still here. So I guess they, I guess they reckoned that I would handle it, which I did. So I do understand that they have to be cautious and take one small baby step at a time to contact us in this way. And I felt that after this experience, I felt that this is what they were doing. They are coming in because they feel, okay, she can handle this, so we can do this. And afterward, we see, it's like a kind of like a preparation, or they kind of like training you. They prepare you for more contact if you're willing to, or if that's supposed to happen. So that's what I concluded with, that this really happened, this is true, and that this must be a kind of a preparation for something, as my previous video with the being I met also. All of these experiences, I believe, at least for me, when I talk and share my experience, it's from me and what I experienced and what I think and what I believe to be. That in these cases, it is uh, kind of like a preparation or training, you might say. So I'm very grateful for that, and thank you for listening. It went on for longer than I had in mind, but it is what it is. Um, so anyone can make up their mind as they wish. Um, I don't know, but this happened, and I am curious and to see what happens next. We'll see, but I have other experiences. I have even written them down. Yeah, I have some other videos I want to do, or to make, to share some other stuff too. But yeah, I will do it hopefully as soon as I can. So yeah, but thank you for listening. I hope my English was understandable. I apologize if it was maybe a little bit hard to understand or put in context. I don't know. I hope not. But anyway, I'm glad I'm done uh, telling you this, sharing this experience with you. And until next time, hopefully not for, hopefully it won't be too long till next time. Until then, please keep an open mind, a loving heart, and good intentions. Keep the eyes to the skies and be kind. Okay. Thank you. See you next time. Bye bye.